Hi guys, welcome to Talk and Chalk. I'm Beck. I'm an assistant principal in Southwest Sydney, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy the videos on the channel. There's lots more to come. Feel free to check in the description below for all of my other links, including my kids' educational YouTube channel called Clever Pickles. Lots of fun maths games on there. If you're watching this in Facebook or another media form, you might need to open this up into YouTube to be able to access all of those links below. I'd love to see more subscribers. Hit thumbs up if you like it, and always feel free to put comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys on the topic that we're talking about today or topics that you'd like to hear about in the future. Feel free to check out my other videos as well. I'd love to hear from you on those ones too. It's an evolving channel. It's still pretty new, but I've been getting lots of feedback and lovely people messaging me and talking to me and just asking me for advice or giving me their tips as well. And it's been a great source of collaboration. So welcome for today. I'm just going to do some quick tips about controlling the noise level in the classroom. And keep in mind, these are things that have worked for me in the past. I'm not saying that this is the be all and end all of the strategies that you need to use in your room. Ultimately, you know your kids, you know how they best learn. And if you're looking for something different to try, then hopefully these might help you. So I've got my trusty notebook, as I like to put these things down and make sure I don't skip over things that I've thought of. So in terms of controlling the noise in your classroom, ultimately, I want people to know that it's not about being silent. Just because a classroom is quiet doesn't mean that good learning is going on in that classroom. Sometimes it does. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a sign of it though. So it's about being productive and about being proactive in your classroom as well. So for me, obviously I'm a talker, so I have to make sure that I maintain and monitor my noise level in the classroom as well. When I was a beginning teacher, I would constantly rise and rise and rise above that noise level and try and talk over the top of the students and the noise that they were making in the classroom, which just made them get louder as well. So I had to make sure that I was keeping myself in check and making sure that I didn't keep rising up, that I stepped down, I slowed down, even making sure that my voice sounded a little bit deeper, which is hard to do. It's still a bit croaky at the moment, so it's easier. And just making sure that I maintain my noise level first before I try and maintain their noise level. I also need to make sure that those groups that are near me doing those activities. So for things like guided reading, when I specifically have a group with me, making sure that I'm not constantly getting louder and then they're getting louder and then the rest of the class is getting louder as well, because sometimes it's easier to do in those small groups to get loud and excited with them when you've got that closer contact with the kids. Using the 6 L's is a great strategy. So if some people say 5 L's, I've got 6. School has got 6. They're not my personal 6. I shouldn't say that. Which you can find strategies for this anywhere on Google. If you go to Google and type in 6 L's or 5 L's or whatever, you'll get it. So it's the legs crossed, hands in laps, eyes looking, ears listening, lips closed, and then ready to learn. Did I do 6? Legs, lips, laps, looking, listening, learning. Yes. Okay. Using something to get their attention. Some people like to use the bell, ring the bell. I have a xylophone, and it's the same xylophone my mother, hi mum, bought me when I started teaching. So 15 years ago, she bought it for me. And it's this gorgeous wooden xylophone with metal pieces and then a wooden donga. What are the pieces called? I haven't done music for a while. So anyway, I like it because it has 8 bars. So as opposed to the one ring, try and get your attention, still people talking, got to ring it again, loses its effectiveness after you've done it too many times. The xylophone, I can go either higher to lower or lower to higher, either way I want to go. The kids never know which direction I'm going to go. Ding, dong, 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 all the way down. They've got 8 counts there to then settle themselves down. So if they haven't heard the first one or the second one or the third one, chances are the rest of the class is starting to quieten down, and then they hear it and check in and then shut off. So the kids know there is absolutely no excuse whatsoever to still be talking or being noisy by the time I finished ringing the xylophone. They know that. That's an expectation that I've set up in the classroom. I rarely even need to use it now though, because we've got our practices so embedded. But it's good for those times when you're joined up with classes together and there's lots of extra productive noise that's going on in the classroom and you just need to get people's attention. Another strategy that I like to use is either getting their attention through ringing the bell or calling out or whatever, but then I just say, hold up what you've done. and everyone needs to hold up whatever it is that they're working on at the time. And that way I'm kind of checking in to see where they're up to with their work, but my intention isn't necessarily to see what they're doing, but it just gets everyone to stop and regroup and quieten down a little bit. So hold it up. Miss says, good work. I like what you're doing. Oh, awesome stuff there. Okay, guys, continue. They automatically center themselves again and quieten down again. So I haven't even told them to be quiet at this point. They just automatically do it on their own because they're kind of restarting, putting their paper down again, off they go and focusing. Giving the countdown, the warning time. So you might have the timer up on the board, but we know some kids don't respond very well to that. It can make them anxious to know that they're timed. So I just do the call out. You've got 10 minutes, guys. You've got 5 minutes, guys. Okay, 2 more minutes, guys. 1 more minute, and then you're finished. And there's lots of great behavior management reasons why I do the counting thing. But I notice as I do that, they get a bit quieter and a bit more focused because they want to try and finish before that time is up as well. Using an online timer is great for the end of tasks. So when you get to the end of a task and it's pack up time, that's when things get definitely noisier. Putting things away, scissors away, rulers, tucking in chairs, all those sorts of things, packing drawers away, that gets noisy. And then their voices get noisy, and then someone's calling out across the room to put something away. If you've got the timer, and if they know there's a reward coming at the end of it or points or something coming at the end of it, they really want to focus. So if you continue on YouTube and literally just type in countdown timer or countdown timer classroom, there's stacks and stacks of cute little ones. So you can see the little lion there. There's ones with timers. Keep going through. There's a tiger. Countdowns for your classroom. There's lots of bomb ones on there as well, which is cute. And a lot of our older kids, I guess, would respond to that. I'm working in a school, though, where we have refugees. We have students who have immigrated from countries that are quite dangerous and literally in war zones. So using the bomb is absolutely a no-no because that's a trauma for them. So keep in mind when you're doing things like this, that if you're doing something that's a little bit, goofy, like the bomb, just take into account your students' backgrounds, obviously, because that could go horribly wrong. Using the noise meter on Class Dojo. This is a new part of the toolkit, and as a Class Dojo ambassador, I'm very proud to say the toolkit is amazing. The only problem is, though, is it's really only effective if you've got the interactive whiteboard using it. If you're using Class Dojo just from an iPad or a phone in your room because you don't have the display, it's not going to be as effective because the kids can't see it. So if you're not sure how to use it, approach the Class Dojo mentor in your school. If you don't know who the mentor is, it should be on the list that you've got there, or ask. It's always good to communicate with your school. And if there is no mentor in your school, you can apply to be the mentor, which is great. So check out the toolkit section on there or YouTube it. There's lots of resources. Spreading out activities will always help reduce the noise level. So if you can literally spread the activities across the room, and if you've checked out any of my other videos about flexible learning or my must-do, can-do activities, you can see my room is really spread out. There's minimal furniture because kids can work on the floor, they can stand up to work, they can go to the reading corner. Doesn't matter where they are as long as they're engaged in what they're doing. Spread them out. They don't have to be in one little section on one table. And that will always help reduce the noise level a bit as well. If you can keep your group sizes small when they're doing group activities, like ideally you really want only 3 kids in a group. Realistically though, we need to make groups of 4 or 5 depending on your class size. If you can keep it to 3 though, that keeps the noise level down, and it means that every student in that group should be able to have equal partnership in whatever it is that they're working on. Obviously using the positive reinforcement and praise, if you've got dojo points or table points or whatever the system it is that you've got going in your classroom, try and focus on the positive, not the negative. It's too noisy in here. You're talking too much. That's not going to help. Focus on that positive. I love the way you guys are working over there. I can still hear you really engaged in your talking, but you're doing it at a good level, which means that it's not interrupting the rest of the room. Be very specific about what it is they're doing that's beneficial to them and to the rest of the class, because we want to be a team in our class. We want to help each other out. Using a noise register. Now, if you go to Google and type in noise meter or noise register or noiseometer, any of those things, there's ones that you can print out and you can peg on there what your designated noise level is before the activity even starts. So if it's absolute silent, independent, individual work, the tag goes on that section. If it's classwork, we're all engaged, we're all talking, you peg it on that one. And you can peg it beforehand. And this is really good for those kids that you need to give tasks to. So if you've got students in the class that you know need to randomly move in between activities and tasks, if they can't sit still, if they're fidgety or anything like that, this is a good task for them. They get to go up and peg where the noise level is at. And in the middle of an activity, little Johnny over there, I think you need to move the noise meter over a little bit. Well, off you go, do that. Good for them as well. The other one that's really good, and these are called call and responses, is like my little clap at the beginning there. You do something and then they need to respond. So the clap is, and then the kids have to repeat the clap back to you. There's lots of really funny call and responses. If you go to Google again and do a search, I don't want to send you off to do work, but there's no way I'd be able to cover everything in one video. One I remember from when I went to school camp was when the camp counselors would go, Dale, and everyone in the camp would have to go, Dale, and then everyone would sing, daylight come and me wanna go home. It's stuck in my head since I was in year 6, so it must have been fun. Either that or it traumatized me. I think it was fun. But there's lots of groovy ones as well. I know there's teachers that do the 1, 2, 3 eyes on me. Kids say something back. There's lots of different ones on there. I've seen someone else do the, oh, Mickey, you're so fun, you blow my mind. And then the kids will go, hey, Mickey, hey, Mickey. So you do what works well with your class. There's no point throwing one out there if you know they're not going to enjoy it. Otherwise, they won't participate. Then you won't get that noise level down. Okay, those were just some of the things that have worked for me. I would love to hear what works for you because everyone's got their own unique style. So pop it in the comments below. Send me a message. I've got my Twitter, my Facebook and everything there below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And anyone who's waiting for my next must do, can do video, it's coming this weekend. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks guys. Bye.